Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Welcome, Pirates, and good morning, good day, good afternoon, whenever you happen to be catching this opportunity to watch the Pirate Broadcast. I love that you're here. Thank you. All the gratitude in the world. And we're going to be having some fun today because we have somebody that has shifted their entire life, took their side hustle, generated an entirely new business out of it. And we're going to be talking about, let me get this right, Massafiato.
Yeah, you got it.
And Amy Parsons, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Russ, I'm great. How are you? I'm so excited to be with you today.
We're going to have some fun. I just want to remind people that if you have questions, you want to like, comment, or just get involved, engage, just open up the chat window. Bring some light to the party, and let's have some fun. So, Amy, we were talking before the show, and this is a perfect example of the kinds of topics that I want to shine the light on, because you have done something that is really extraordinary in a lot of respects, because you were in a traditional or a somewhat traditional space and doing your thing, you're having a good life and, moving forward. And then all of a sudden there was this thing that we call the pandemic. And it took you a moment to say, wait a second, I could do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So walk us through what the mindset and the shift was in your life that said, I need to do something else. It's time.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And thanks for the question. You're right. I was in probably the most traditional space you can imagine, right? I had a 20-year career as an attorney and an executive in higher education in the Colorado State University system. And I was 16 years with CSU and working within those big organizations and the university system. That's kind of as traditional as it gets, right? And I went straight into it from law school into private practice and then into the university system, and probably would still be there right on up into retirement had it not been sort of for the pandemic giving me pause and giving me a little bit of space to think about what I actually wanted to do. And I'm really grateful for that career, and it gave me a chance to travel and see a lot of things around the world. But I realized that over time, as I was commuting into that very traditional job, the kind of podcasts and books that I was listening to on the side were all about the beauty industry and that space and the craftsmanship and learning about what was going on in that industry. And that's what I was doing on the side, is going in the stores and discovering things. And when I would travel, I would find like the local brands and the stories behind them and the people. And as the pandemic hit and I was home for the first time, like literally home for the first time in 20 years, really gave me the space to start exploring, like, what do I really love about it and what's missing in the market here in the US? And is this a chance to actually start doing something about it? So I started doing my own Zoom calls early in the morning, doing my job all during the day, Zoom calls at night, and started piecing it all together through really 2020, in May of 2020, and launched the company by Christmas a year ago. Right now, quit my job and did this full time. And now we just are celebrating our first year in business just this month. So
how are you feeling? How are you feeling about the journey so far?
I think that I'm super glad that I did it. It still amazes me some days that I did it. This is my full-time job because it's e-commerce, it's retail, it's beauty, it's all of these new spaces, and I feel like it expands my brain so much every single day. I think I've learned more in the last year than I learned in the previous 10 years of my traditional job, just pushing myself and getting better every day. That sort of bird by bird philosophy of every day you do one more thing to make the company better, whether it's, getting one step better on email, one step better on product, one step better on customer service, making the website a little bit better, just every day getting better. And it's such a challenge, and it's just so satisfying when you see new customers coming in, and then they start coming back, and you see the repeat customers. I mean, it's really incredible, to be honest. I'm very grateful.
Yes, it's interesting because the journey as an entrepreneur, because sometimes being an entrepreneur is kind of glorified in a
Yeah.
lot, and there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of how do I figure this out, and it's really about just taking the time to say, okay, what can I do with what I have, and how do I need to move forward? And I think you nailed it, because just 1% improvement every day, 2%, 10%,
Mhm.
making those little incremental changes have to really, make a difference every day. Also, fragrance and fashion and the market, that's an incredibly competitive market. Has that been your experience, or have you had a unique proposition where people are finding you and discovering you in a way that it has been surprising to you?
I'll tell you one thing that's surprising, and it comes back to a question that I'd love your opinion on. Actually, is when we launched it, we really assumed that women would be about 80% of our customers, and men maybe around 20% of our customers, because we do carry men's lines.
Hmm.
Because the Italian, we carry all Italian and only Italian brands, first of all. So niche, heritage, really high performing, high style Italian brands. And the Italians they've nailed men's grooming, right? I mean, they've got the barbershop culture, they've got these just amazing men's brands. And so we're finding those, importing them, and selling them on our site. And
Yeah.
it turns out men are half our customers. Day in and day out, men are half of our customers. And that's been a great surprise. And we love that. And we're bringing on even another men's brand this month. And I think that is really telling us something about the market too, because the beauty space in the US is huge,
Oh,
absolutely massive industry. And it's really dominated by these great big retailers like the Sephoras and the Ultas, and they keep combining with each other to get even bigger all the time, right? Like
yeah.
Sephora's going into Kohl's and Ulta's going into Target, and so they keep just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're really dominated by influencers and trends and celebrity, and it's a very big crowded space. So we're coming in with a proposition of, we're not so influenced by trends and influencers and celebrities. We're bringing in brands, some of which are 400 years old. A lot of them are 100 years
Wow.
old, run by the same families for 100 years, some of them. These really rich histories tied to place, tied to ingredients, just a complete counterpoint to a lot of what you're getting in the big retailers in the US. And
Yeah.
bringing in products for men as well. We realize that men don't really have a place to go with those big retailers, with the Sephoras and the Ultas. They're not really made for men.
They
Um,
might have a little
and
shelf over here in the corner.
yeah, that's right.
It's like
Like Target has like a little space in the middle, like it's okay to come here.
what are you doing in here?
Yeah, exactly. So we've kind of stumbled on this. Men like to have good options,
Yeah.
and to have multiple brands to choose from their cologne and beard care,
Uh-huh.
and all of those different types of things. And they really like that barbershop culture and that quality that Italy brings. So that's been an amazing surprise. And we just keep expanding our content and our products for men right along with the women.
Yeah, it's it's interesting because my son, he likes very few things, but the things that he likes are very unique and high end, or at
Mhm.
least unusual.
Mhm.
There's these like little niche things, and he's very particular about what he buys. And I have probably spent, you know, hundreds of dollars on beard care, testing things out. And people have sent me stuff, and I've tried it out, and the oils and all of the creams and everything else.
Mhm.
And you have it's a process where you have to discover what you love and what you enjoy, and then after you find it, sometimes you stick with that. And
Yeah.
it's not always the case, but I love the idea of the discovery process of unique and unusual items that, especially if you're thinking about other people and giving gifts and processing, you know, that idea of it's not something you're going to find in Target. It's not
Right.
something you're going to find in, a store. So I just want to give a shout out to some of the people in the crowd today. Michael Baker's in the room from Florida. John, thank you so much for being here. Elise from South Africa. Jordan, all the way in from California. Thank you so much. Andy, you have a fan here. You have a fan here. So Andy,
Hi,
Amy
Andy.
is a rock star, inspiration, and leader. Love her. Thank you so much. Gabe, I have to give a shout out to Gabe. Gabe has been doing this. If you haven't noticed what Gabe's been doing online, highlighting live stream items in LinkedIn, hashtag LinkedIn live stream, I believe it is. Is that what it is, Gabe? Let me know. But he's just been highlighting a lot of people, and it's really appreciated.
That's cool.
And then Tony, I had to give a shout out. Tony is the king of bedding. So if you need high-end bedding, he's in Toronto. He's doing some stuff online. He's an awesome individual that you need to connect with if you're not connected with him already. So fantastic. And I think you probably have a connection there, So, it's good sleep, good smell, good care, It's like,
No doubt.
no doubt. So Nasreen is here. Good afternoon from here. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And then also, here it is. So follow LinkedIn live streams. LinkedIn live stream, hashtag LinkedIn live streams.
Cool.
And if you happen to discover a live stream, send it over to Gabe and let him know so he can put it in the catalog and the highlights. So, fragrance. So give us a range. So it's fragrance, skincare. I mean, what is?
Yeah.
What is
So skincare for men and women. A lot of amazing companies in Italy have been doing skincare for a very long time. Bath and body is probably our biggest category. So all the lotions and bath creams and bath salts, and we've got a couple companies that are taking their bath salts from these Sicilian salt caves, that are 3,000 years old, and
Wow.
and it's just amazing stuff. And fragrance for men and women, and home fragrance as well is really popular. I didn't know that much about home fragrance when we started this business, and these Italian perfume houses, they take home fragrance as seriously as personal fragrance, and different fragrances for the front of the house and the bathroom and the bedroom, and they just generate these beautiful fragrances and these
How do they
for different places in the home.
how do they deliver the fragrances? What's the
So
delivery mechanism that they
yeah, so
use?
a lot of them are diffusers. So they have the oils in the glass vessels, and you put the
Okay.
diffuser sticks in, so it's a continuous scent. But we have candles, we have crystals, there's stones, there's traditional potpourri, there's sprays, all different kinds of vessels for different scents.
I may have to go
Um, and
shopping.
then and then yeah, the men's line, kind of everything top to bottom for men's. And we're in holidays now, so we are bundling together a lot of these products so people can get 4 or 5 brands together for home, or we have holiday scents, and we have men's grooming and women's fragrance, and the Italian bath, and we've got one called the powder room, which is everything you need to fit out your powder room. So making it easy for people, because we have 1,000 products right now on our site.
Wow.
So always trying to make it like really easy and accessible for people to figure out what they want. So we put
Yeah.
these bundles together, and you can kind of discover brands and whatnot that way. And so yeah.
Do you have a top brand? Do you have something that surprised you that is selling really well, that kind of like, that's interesting?
That's a good question. I think there's a brand called Perlier, and they're like a legendary brand in Italy, and a lot of people in the US actually know them because they've been around for a long time. And their stuff, it's bath and body, it's lotions, it's things like that.
Mm-hmm.
it smells better than anything in the world. So, and that was a discovery to us. We're all sort of addicted to smelling it all around the office. And so we smell a lot of stuff around the office all the time. So once people discover how good it smells, then they buy it for their kids, their mothers, they buy it for, a lot of people around them. And we're always just discovering these new brands, new products, bringing them on, seeing what works. And then we, go deep in the products that work. Cause like you said, launching a new business and being an entrepreneur, it's, 1% better every day. So much of that for us, because, we're representing all these different heritage Italian brands, is just listening very closely every day to the numbers, listening to the customer input, listening to the sales, and in e-commerce, it's all numbers. You know exactly at the end of the day how you did every day, which is kind of terrifying, right? I mean,
Yes.
the numbers don't lie in e-commerce. It's all there. You know where people are coming from. You know exactly what they're buying. You know what pages they're going to, and so
The
you
data don't
have
lie.
to. Yeah, I mean, they don't lie, and every number is telling you a story, and it's learning to listen to that story and understand what it is, and you might think that it's the greatest product in the world, but if nobody's buying it, then it's not. And if people are crazy about this brand over here, that's where you need to go. And so always listening to those numbers every single day and trying to see the stories that are in the numbers of just where to double down and where to pull back and how to get better. That's really the trick.
How do you go through the selection process? What's the selection process that you go through to decide, okay, I want to bring this on. I want to bring this product on. I want to curate this to the site. I want to be able to see what goes on.
Yeah.
What's that life cycle look like for you at a year?
Yeah, I mean, we start out by doing our own research on the brands. And what's interesting too, and especially men have done this more than women, people will find our site and then they'll email me directly and say, hey, I found this brand when I was in Milan one time called, XYZ. Like Antica Barbieri Cola is this little brand out of Milan that does men's barbershop. I never would have found them, but somebody found the site, emailed me and was like, you should check these guys out. They're amazing. Reached out to them. They shipped product over to me. We did just like this on Zoom. We went through it. We smelled it. We got customer reviews, and we just decided to bring them on to the site. So some of it is word of mouth, people telling us these brands that they've discovered in Italy. We've worked with the Italian Trade Commission in New York. We reach out to them and they represent, Italian businesses, especially in beauty and fashion. We say, who do we need to know? Who wants to come into the US? Who's ready for this market? And so they've done a fair amount of matchmaking with us. And so we look at the products.
Can support it?
What's that?
And who can support it?
And who can support the supply chain, right? Yeah. Because the very small niche brands might not be able to supply enough to us. And so, we really look at their story first, because we're looking for authenticity. So we're looking for brands that have great stories, families behind them, tied to place in Italy, because we want to transport people to Italy through beauty. We want people through the products to really feel like they're traveling to Tuscany or Sicily or wherever these brands are from and the products are made. So we're looking for those stories. We're looking for quality of the products, and we're looking for great style, because the Italian style in the products, it looks better, it smells better than anything you're going to get on the shelves at mass market. So it passes all those tests. We import it into the US, put it up on our site, and see how it does.
It has to pass the Amy sniff test.
Absolutely. It does have to pass the Amy sniff test. Yeah.
Katrian from Finland, regards. Thank you so much. Jenny Gold is in the house. She says, good morning, Amy and Russ. She's in your neck of the woods. She's up in Colorado near Denver there. Numbers. I have to ask you, when you start something, especially an online business, there's a lot of misconceptions about what it takes. And it takes a lot of effort, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things. So what's the biggest surprise that you had in your journey in the last year about just bringing it all together that took a lot more time than you anticipated? you expected.
Yeah. Definitely visibility and translating visibility into sales is
Mm.
really hard.
Conversion.
Converting all the way into a sale. We were fortunate to be mentioned in Vogue magazine's Father's Day gift guide, and you think, hey, we're in Vogue, like open the door, we're going to sell out. This is amazing, and you see a few sales from it, really. But it's, you put it on your website, you've got that credibility, they have vetted you. That lives on. But to really see that, boy, this is amazing, but will it translate to sales immediately? No. It'll take some time, and you're in there and people will find you. And so it's really learning that there's absolutely no magic bullet. And a lot of people sell magic bullets in this industry, right?
Yeah.
Do this and you're going to triple your conversion rate. Do this and you're going to, quadruple your email opt-ins and all these things. I don't believe any of it anymore. There's a little bit of truth in all of them, but I don't believe that there's any magic bullet like that. And so it's pushing 10 buttons every day, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's that old fashioned notion of good to great, of turning the flywheel. And eventually when it goes and sales are picking up and things are moving, you're not going to know whether it was that Vogue article or whether it was that great email or whether that was, improving the button on your checkout page to get better at conversion. It's just all of it working together day by day until it's really, really turning.
Yeah. It's putting in the time and effort.
Learn that lesson every time, right? Because you get excited, like this is the thing that's gonna, and it does a little bit. Yeah. And then you do the next thing and it does a little bit. And it is just sort of relentless energy toward pushing that flywheel every day that's going to do it.
So how do you find joy? I want to give a shout out to Diane. Russ, finally able to catch the show. Great content, and Amy is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Diana. How do you stay inspired, motivated, and avoid burnout?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, burnout is real, for sure in this, because you can do it all day long, every day, every single day. And to be honest, I love it so much, and I'm so excited about the company that I want to. And I want to get up on Saturday and be here, and I want to get up on Sunday and be here. I have a husband and 2 teenage daughters at home, and I'm grateful for that, because that forces me to say, all right, I've got to prioritize that just as much as the business, and to help me balance out between the two of them. If I didn't have them at home, I would do nothing but this, truthfully, all the time. So I'm really grateful for my daughters, for my dogs, for my husband at home. That really forces me to take a break. But it's also a joy for me to involve them in the business. And, I bring products home and I test it on them. And I have them go through the website, and I, have them review advertising and, watch this show with me in the morning and things like that. So it brings me joy to bring those two sides together, and really helps me be better at both. But I'm definitely no expert in it. I will burn myself out absolutely, unless I really force myself to stop. You have any advice for me on that, Russ?
Well, having started many businesses and experienced burnout on occasion, I think you're doing everything the right way. Pace yourself, take time out for yourself, and make sure that you actually just disconnect on occasion. This weekend I had a lot to do, and I thought, I'm at that edge, where I'm recognizing I need to take a break. Yeah. So I just unplugged a little bit, and take those moments for yourself and cherish them. Allow yourself to think about what it is that you are doing well, things that you can improve, areas that you need to remove. Because half of business is not necessarily doing more. It's what can I no longer do? What can I stop doing?
For sure.
How can I delegate it or delete it from my inventory of things I have to get done? And it's so important for us to all recognize that it is a journey. It is, you have to enjoy the day. You have to enjoy the moment and find a little bit of pleasure in the process, because it's not a magic bullet. There's not a lever that you can pull and all of a sudden everything is just magic. It's not that way. And sometimes people want to paint it that way, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it's consistency.
I think you absolutely hit on something really important there about sort of relentlessly eliminating the things that you don't have to do. That's really hard. And I was in, I was in a 20-year career in something completely different. I was serving on a lot of boards. I was involved in a lot of social activities, going to a lot of events, all of those things. And to really make that shift of coming into this business and saying, I don't have to do any of that. And to save my sanity, I have to really be relentless about pushing that aside, at least in the first couple of years. And I have to do two things really well. I have to run this company and I have to be good for my family. That's it. Everything else is a super distant second. And it's okay to just kind of relentlessly, ruthlessly say no to those things so you can be successful in the two things that really matter. It's not easy.
On an episode last week with Erica Warfield, she says the first three things you do in the morning are revenue generating. It's like, that stuck with me. It's like, okay, I gotta do that. So we have to actually apply some of these techniques and these processes. And I really applaud you for shifting out of, a 20-year career, being something completely different, and finding something that you enjoy and you can thrive in. And no matter what happens in the end, the experience that you have right now is priceless. And I just can't express that enough. And even people in my own family don't always understand what I do or why I do it. And it's just the process of getting out there, highlighting. And my mission is to help more people help more people. So it's a pretty simple equation. And I do that with video. I do that with, creating content and highlighting and sharing that information with other people. And sharing fragrance and curating these little craft focused individuals that have created something amazing, and then putting it out to the larger audience is equally amazing. So hats off to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, and you've created something from scratch, right? Something from your head and your heart that you brought into existence. And that's it's a big leap of faith. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And that's what I'm trying to learn how to do here too. It starts with an idea in your head, and to bring that all the way to the point where people are going on the website and buying something it's amazing, right? It's an amazing journey to go on to create something from scratch. And to put in the work to see it actually exist in the world is very, very tough, very satisfying.
You're probably 2 inches taller than you started.
I'm 2 inches shorter. That's how it feels some days.
Oh, yeah. Beat up. Jenny says Russ's month break lasted a few days. Howard Kaufman. Howard Kaufman's somebody you should probably talk to. He does ORL, organic healthcare, mouth care. Awesome individual, just great business owner. And I just really appreciate all the stuff that he's brought to the table as well. So it'd be a great introduction. So
reach out
that's
to
the other
LinkedIn
benefit of the show. That's the other benefit of the show is you get to meet new people. So
it's awesome.
Well, thank you, Amy, so much for being here. I wish you the very best in all your adventures. And if there's any way I can add value or help or support you, please feel free to reach out. Everyone, go connect with Amy. Let her know that you're a pirate, and make sure that you know where to find her products and services. And that's what this is all about. Helping more people help more people.
Thank you, Russ. It's been a joy. That really flew by. I could spend a lot more time with you, but I appreciate being with you this morning. It's been great.
Call anytime. Yeah. And everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you like, share all the social shenanigans that take place that help us grow. And also know that we do this because kindness is cool and smiles are free. And you enjoy the day.
Love it.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join